Hey everybody, welcome back to a video. In this one, we're gonna be learning about Python GUI. So before going into the video, I would appreciate you guys liking and subscribing the video, and feel free to comment. So let's go into topic. So first, let's see what does GUI stands for. So GUI stands for Graphical User Interface. So basically, the name itself kind of explains us. It's kind of like dealing with the graphics. You can even create games with GUI. So GUI is a lot of fun. So first, let's see what do we learn in this video. So in this video we're just gonna be learning about window, and I have something called widgets right here, which I'm gonna be explaining in a second why I have it, even though it's not related to this topic. So first, let's see what does widgets mean. So basically, widgets are kind of like buttons, text box, labels, frames, and everything. So those are kind of like how widgets are. And now let's see window. So basically, a window is a container that stores these widgets. So that's the reason why I have widgets right here, because I have to use widget in this window thing. So basically, to give an example to you guys, I'm in a window which is VS Code, and we're gonna be creating a window in today's video. And also we're going to be changing its properties and stuff, so that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. So first, we have to learn the basics of how do you create a window. So to do GUI, you have to import something called tkinter, which is basically you use this to create GUI. You can create windows, you can even create the text box, labels, and everything. So anything can be done with tkinter module, and this is free and you don't have to install anything. So first, to create a window, you have to have a variable. I named it window because that kind of makes sense. And then I'm gonna have something called tk and have a parentheses. So basically this is gonna create a window, but whenever you run this, it's not gonna give you a window. So to run this, or to make the window appear, or you can just say to run the event loop, you have to do something like window.main loop. So basically this is gonna run the event loop, or it will basically run. So we're gonna be seeing an example right now. So first, I'm gonna have the import tkinter module, but to say you guys, I don't want just tkinter module. If you want like to import everything, you can just use from tkinter module, and then you can import something called asterisk. So asterisk is nothing but like it's basically gonna import everything inside the tkinter module. So it's basically gonna import everything. So that's what asterisk does in Python. So first, I'm gonna have a variable to create a window equals, and then have the tk module. And then the case matters too. I didn't mention it, but still it matters. And now we have to have window.main loop. So basically this is gonna run our event loop. And now if I were to run this, it's gonna pop us a window. So let's just wait for some seconds. As you see, we got a window right here. And with this window, I can resize it. I can even do full screen. I can even do anything I want with this window. So basically this just creates a window. And as you see, we just create a window. So that's how this window works, but we just want to change the properties, because like this window is kind of trash, because as you see, like it's just have tk with a feather icon, and then have something plain background which is white. So we're going to be changing that too, and the size is small too. So let's see how do you first change the size, because I don't like the size because it's too small. So first, to change the size, you have to have window.geometry. So this is basically gonna change the size. So it should be in pixels, so I'm just gonna have 500 times 500. As you see, we have it right there. And what is this window, you may ask? So window is nothing basically but the variable we created, which is the variable. So if I hover over it, as you see, it's window and it's tk thing. So basically whenever I want anything to change the properties and stuff, you have to use the variable. So that's why I use a variable. If you want to change the icon, you have to still use a variable and stuff. So anything you do, you have to use the variable you created, which means you're accessing your window. And now if I were to run this, it's gonna give us the bigger one. So as you see, we got a bigger one right now, and I can even make it to a lot bigger. So anything you can do, whatever you want. So that's how you can do these changing in seconds. And if you want, you can just Google out how much size you want, because sometimes you may mess up with size, so we have to be careful with that. And now let's change some stuff with it. So I just want to change the text, so let me run this real quick. So it's just giving me TK, which is pretty lame because it's kind of bad. So for that, I can just change something like window, and then I'm gonna have the title dot title, and that's how you can change the title. And then you can have a string. So basically I'm just gonna say something like window, because there's a window. You can name it anything you want. So let me just run this. So it's basically gonna give me a window. So as you see, just type this window. So if you didn't observe, you can just rewind the video back again and then see what happened. And that's how this title thing works. And now let's see the icon. So let me show you what I mean by icon. So I have something called like kind of like feather icon right there. So if you can't see, let me zoom in. So that's the feather icon you guys can see, and I don't know if you guys can see or not. So we have a feather icon, but let's say I want to creep it something. So for that I have to have a variable. I'm just gonna name it icon and then have photo image, and then there we go, we have our photo image, and then type file. So file is basically a parameter inside this, and then you can have your stuff in this. So basically you're gonna have your file path. So for me it's test.png. So because this is in my workspace, so as you see, this is in my workspace, test.png, and you have to keep in your workspace, not in any file. So you should not keep in any file, you have to keep in your workspace, and it should not be in any files. I'm saying again. So that's not gonna work. So let's say you have something like different, which you don't have this thing in your Explorer or your workspace. If you don't have, you can just do something like this. So basically you're gonna right click on the image, and then you're gonna see like delete, download or something and stuff. You're gonna see down, and then you have to see an option called copy, and then that's basically gonna copy stuff, and then it's gonna give you the thing. So after you click copy, it's gonna copy the path, and it's basically gonna look like this. So for me it's stored in this path, and then it's the same png. And then if I were to run this, it's not gonna give us anything, but instead it's gonna give us me an error, because we don't have double backslashes. So if you were seeing my before videos, you would understand why will we use double backslashes, because Python accepts like that. So first let me change this to double backslashes, and then it's gonna work for you guys back again. So first I'm gonna be showing an example using the test.png. So first I'm gonna be doing something. So till here it's not gonna reflect anything in our stuff. So let me run this real quick, and it's not gonna give us the output. As you see, it's still the same feather icon. So I forgot to show you guys what I have in the test.png. So I just have this plain black thing. So it's basically fully black, and it doesn't have anything inside it. So that's what I have. So it's basically kind of like a color, and now it didn't reflect it for us. So if you want it to reflect, you have to do something like window.icon photo, and then this is basically gonna change the photo. And this not yet, because we have to have this to set to true, so that it will be true, and then you can have your variable name. So mine is icon, and then if I were to run this, it's gonna change to the picture to black. So as you see, it gave us the picture black. So that's how this thing works, and you can change it to any picture you want. And now let's see an example using the file path. So I changed it just like that, and then I'm gonna have double backslashes. So first let me change this to double backslashes. Oops, I messed it up there. And then I'm gonna have double backslash there, and then right there too. And then and now if I were to run this, it's gonna give me the output. So let me run this. As you see, it gave me a black thing. So if I don't have the double backslashes, it's not gonna work for me. So let me run this. So as you see, it just gave me an error and saying Unicode error, Unicode escape, Coda can detect bytes or something, so decode and everything. So we don't know what is that error. So basically it just says you have to have double backslashes, because that's how Python accepts it. And that's how you can change the icon photo. But we are not done yet, because we are not getting the size or something. So because the background is pretty plain, I'll say, because let me run this real quick and show you the background. As you see, it's pretty plain, it just have white and stuff. So let's say you want to change the background. For that you have to do something like window.config, and then have something called background, and then have a string. This string is basically gonna say what color. So I'm just gonna have something like, let me just take red, and then if I were to run this, it's gonna give me red color as a background. So let me run this. As you see, it gave me a red color. I can even change it to blue, black, anything is fine. So let me change it to black for a second. And now let me run this, and as you see, it gave me a black color. You can change it to blue, anything you want. But let's say you want something like sky blue or light red or something, any color. So for that you have to have hex color picker. So basically you can just Google hex color picker, and then you have to have the hex code. And hex, if you don't know what is hex code, it's basically with the hashtag, and it has some numbers and sometimes letters too. So that kind of has the code of how the letter thing works. And also I'm gonna be saying an important point in a second. So let me just go to the hex color tab. So this is the hex color tab I'm talking about, and then you have your hex color code. So let me zoom this if you can't see this. So this is the hex color which I'm talking about. So that is the hex code, and it has letters or numbers sometimes, so anything is okay. Now let's say I want to pick something like light red or something. So let me just, you can just drag the mouse right there, so you can put anywhere basically you want. So I'm just gonna basically put right there. So that's kind of bad, so I'm just gonna put right here. So this is the color I'm picking right now, and now I'm just gonna copy this code right there, and or you can just click that one right there, that button right there, and then you can just copy and then paste in the string. So let me just show you guys. So I'm back on my VS Code thing, and now I have to paste that part. So this is the thing I had as hashtag BA2F38, and also you should not remember this you should not remove these hashtags, because without these hashtags the Python code does not work, and it cannot recognize that you're giving it something like code or something. So for that you have to have the hashtag. And now if I were to run this, it's gonna give me that kind of color. So you can just compare the colors. As you see, I'll say both are pretty similar and same, I'll say, because they both are same and the same colors. So that's how you can change background colors. You can even change the icons, text and stuff. Even you can change the size, and the window is a lot of fun to create, but we're gonna be learning about fun things in the future too. So that's it for today's video. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.